Welcome to Brian's Man Cave. So today I'm doing another comparison video with the Atari and the Intellivision. And this one is a little bit different than the last three that I did because those were Atari games made by Atari Soft, which was Defender, Pac-Man, and Centipede. And I asked if there was any I missed, and someone nicely pointed out to me that there was actually one, but it wasn't Atari Soft. Even though this game is very popular on the Atari, it was made by Inticorp, I believe is how you pronounce it, and they made a bunch of games kind of late, I guess, in the Intellivision cycle. So a lot of their games were kind of, they became a little bit more rare to get your hands on them. And I've never actually seen a physical copy of this game before, but I knew it existed, and I always wanted to really give it a shot. So I thought, hey, let's do that. Let's give a pole position for the Atari 2600 and see how the Intellivision kind of compares to it. Okay, so we got the pole position screen booted up. Yeah, nice that it's got a little start screen and shows the game. And it's pretty straightforward what you have to do. You have to race. So let's start the game. So this is your qualifier. Now they did a really good job on this one, I think. Anyways, the colors are nice. The sound is on. I mean, you could really hear the sound of the engine. You can make out what this game is. It's got some nice graphics. The oncoming cars don't look so good. I don't know. They're all the same color. They're all the same look. Would have been nice to maybe have some that maybe were a little bit different looking colors or something. I don't know. They really don't look right. And there's not a lot of detail on the side. Oh, I'm not. Just realized I'm not in the right gear there. Yeah, this one you have to pay attention to your gears. So down, if you push down for high and up for low. And I always mistake that because if you play pole position 2 on the Atari 7800, I believe they reversed it. and you would think you have to keep pushing up or down, but you don't actually. You just have to get it into gear, and it'll just keep going, and you can push the button to brake. So I guess I didn't get very far there. So let's try that again. So I push down, I go into high gear. Now I'm in high gear. See, I can brake a little bit by pushing the button. I don't know, I was never the best at this version. I used to play this all the time on the Commodore 64. And, my friend was, he ended up getting an Atari 7800. And it came with pole position too, so I played it on that a few times when I was younger. But most of the time I played it on the Commodore 64, which is still a pretty decent version of the game. Trying to get pole position here. Did I make it? But yeah, it is lacking some detail on the side of the road too. I'm used to seeing things like signs or bushes and stuff, and there's no puddles or anything that you can run through. So they kind of had to eliminate some stuff in this game, but overall still a great racing game. Whoa. I mean, for the Atari 2600, I think this one, did a good job. Whoa, whoa! Nice explosion too. Just gotta watch out for them oncoming cars. Oh! Done blew up. And in the arcade, you would have been playing with a steering wheel, which would have been cool if Atari actually did have a, at the time, if they did create a steering wheel. I know ColecoVision has one, but I don't recall Atari. Maybe some third party might have made one, but that would have been kind of cool if they actually did that. Okay, so now we have pole position for the Intellivision. So right away you can see that it looks slightly different. I mean, the car looks a little bit different. You see signs and stuff, and some mountains in the background, but there's something about this that doesn't look quite right. But, you know, it's a nice start screen, pole position. So let's see here. So we get some options on this one. You can go the Fiji Speedway, the Madison 500, the Grand National, or Monaco GP. Well, let's just do the Fiji Speedway. Let's see here. And that's a nice added touch. I mean, that's kind of like the arcade there with the little Goodyear blimp thing going by. Oh, okay. So this one is it's a little bit different. You do have to kind of accelerate, and then you can you push the action buttons to change your gear. Oh, yeah. The sounds are kind of weird. I guess that's supposed to be the sound of the passing cars. What's going on here? Alright, we're back on the road. Okay, I think this is high gear. Yeah, that's low gear, high gear, so it's so sluggish though. Why is it so slow? And that sound, what is going on there? I don't know what gear I'm in. Whoa, that was crazy. Let's try that again. Yeah. Prepare to qualify. Okay, so I guess the top gear up there is low gear, so you gotta push up. Maybe I clicked into high gear too fast. There we go. I don't know, the graphics on this kind of remind me of like there's a few racing games this kind of reminds me of, but definitely not pole position. There we go. Come on, move over. Jeez. I don't even know what's going on here. Definitely not as easy to pick up and play as the other one is. As the Atari one is, I should say. The gear shifting is weird. Guess I'm waiting, or not shifting at the right time. Well, at least they colored the oncoming cars. They don't... It looks like the old style... Like the really, really old style of racing cars. It doesn't look like Indy cars or anything. Finding this one to be a little bit more challenging to play. I mean, it's got some added features in here that aren't obviously in the Atari 2600 version. Let's see here. So let's try, I don't know. Let's try the Grand National. Prepare to qualify. Okay, I'm gonna try and change the gear. Oh, I guess, did that work? Seems like it slows down when you change gears, too. Oh. And the sound is just gonna drive you crazy. Oh. Having a little bit more difficulty controlling the car in this. This almost makes you feel like this game wasn't ready. It was like they needed to play test it a little bit more or something. Or maybe I'm just not getting something. But move. Okay, there we go. Oh. I feel like I have to really, really push the car to get into the center there. I'm at 240 miles per hour. Ah. And I can't even get to the end of the track. Okay. Game over. Wow. Yeah. I guess the sound is good there. Yeah, so there you have it. I mean, that was pole position for the Atari 2600 and the Intellivision. And this is probably the first time I'm going to say, out of the other games that I've talked about, that I really didn't like the Intellivision version. maybe it's just me. Maybe there's something I'm not knowing. I mean, I don't have a manual, so maybe there's something I'm missing there. But I felt that the car was really sluggish. The turning was awful. It was just awful. It felt like there was a constant pull on the car, like it was pulling me towards the edge. And there was always like three cars in front of me, which always made it difficult to pass. The Atari version, it usually was like one oncoming car. Unfortunately, that kind of made it a little bit more easier to play because you only have to deal with one car. But still, I mean, as far as sound and graphics, the Intellivision did an okay job on some part of the graphics. It had a nice color scheme as well. But I think the Atari just it really hit the game out of the ballpark. And when it comes to actual, what's better, it usually does come down to gameplay. Most of us would sacrifice, like happily sacrifice graphics if we're going to get a really great game out of it. I don't want to be too hard on the Intellivision one. I guess they gave it their best shot. I think it could have been a little bit better. It did say 1987, so that's quite a late title to be released on the Intellivision. So I don't know. I mean, a lot of the earlier Intellivisions were like 78, 79, 80, somewhere in that range, right? So I don't know. I just don't know how to put it, nicely. That kind of sucked. But anyways, let me know what you think. Throw some comments down below. I'm sure most people are going to say the Atari one wins, but who knows? Maybe somebody out there really, really likes the Intellivision version. Anyways, hope you liked the video. Hope you subscribe. Talk to you later.